This is the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
From 98.1 CHFI Studios in Toronto, Canada.
Hey Toronto, this is Ed Sheeran.
This is Kelly Clarkson.
Hi, this is Bryan Adams.
This is Adele.
This is Madonna.
It's Michael Bublé, and you're listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep Show. It's fun. They're amazing.
Welcome to the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast. Pooj, we're doing something a little different for this podcast.
Yeah, this is a Pooja and Gurdeep podcast first.
Yeah, so you know that I've been trying to spend more time with you outside of work, and you've put up some pretty firm barriers. I think we've sort of come to a bit of a loggerheads in terms of trying to figure this out ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And so, like most people, when you have a relationship and you're trying to fix things, we decided to turn to therapy. Friendship therapy.
Mm-hmm. If you've been listening to the show, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know this has been an ongoing thing with us, me trying to hang out with Pooja outside of here, and Pooja generally giving me the Heisman and saying no. So we turned to a professional therapist, an excellent one, Roxanne Francis. She is a wonderful therapist in the GTA. We'll give you all her information at the end in case you want to get a hold of her. But we sat down with her. We got on the couch, therapy style, and we talked through, and I don't want to give too much away, Pooch, but about 2/3 through the way of what you're about to hear, we actually have a breakthrough.
We have a breakthrough and we both get emotional.
Yeah, like I was actually tearing up in this session a little bit. Listen to the whole thing. There is a breakthrough and we'll talk about it afterwards. We hope you enjoy.
Tell me a little bit about what brings you both in today.
So, Gurdeep and I have been friends for 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Who's counting? You are, apparently?
Yeah, maybe even longer. I don't know. We have a good friendship.
I'd say we have a great friendship.
Yeah.
All right.
I know you don't like the qualifier, but you're one of them.
I'm like your best guy friend, pretty much.
You are.
I am.
Yeah.
And that includes your husband.
Well, he's my best friend.
What?
And he's male. So sorry, no, you're not. You're my second.
Okay, I'm your best guy Indian friend.
My husband's Indian.
Let's read it in a little bit. Is this why we're here? Because we can't figure out where the best friend line is?
Okay, no, let me tell you, Roxanne, I love Pooja.
Yes.
Love her as a friend, love her as a co-host, love her as my work wife.
Yes.
We work together 5 days a week for about 4 or 5 hours a day on air. The problem is, Pooja's really fun, and she does fun things on the weekend. And oftentimes I'm sitting at home on a Saturday, just scrolling through my Instagram, and I'm like, oh, Pooja's having a pool party. Scroll through my email, my text. Oh, I didn't get an invite. Mm-hmm. I feel like because we get along so well, we should maybe hang out a little bit outside of the show when we're not getting paid to hang out because we have such a good time. And I think the bond we form might actually make the show better.
Well, you have a good thing, no doubt about that. Pooja, what do you think about that? Do you agree?
Yeah, we are good friends. We have a lot of fun. We do hang out outside of work for events and stuff where we're not getting paid, but we have a lot of mutual friends in the business, so we will see each other out in that way.
By accident. We see each other by accident because we end up at the same event we didn't know we were both going to. That doesn't count.
I think it's my turn to talk, so these are my feelings. You already had your feelings.
Whoever's holding the pillow gets to talk. It's like a conch.
Okay, got it. So I think we have a great friendship. I really like hanging out with Gurdeep. I always have a good time. I always laugh. It's wonderful. But I'm afraid that too much of a good thing could be exactly that. People get sick of each other for that very reason. People in partnerships get sick of one another. Like, forget you, my sister, my husband, anybody I hang out with for too much, we're going to get sick of each other. I'm a lot. I worry sometimes that maybe I'll say the wrong thing, or what if, something I thought was just sort of playful ends up being something that breeds resentment down the road, and the next thing you know, the friendship's impacted. Like, it was too much. So let's just be protective. It's good. Why can't we just leave it at that? Why do we have to add extra things? Plus, I'm a mom now. My life is different. I'm busy.
I think she's trying to give me the it's not you, it's me thing. Mm-hmm. Like, she's too much. Really, I'm taking it. She thinks I'm too much. She doesn't want to hang out with me on the weekend, but she's trying to spare my feelings. Also, good is the evil of great. What we have is good. We haven't had a big conflict as friends, and when we do, we're mature enough to call each other out on our issues. So I think we try this out. We hang out. If it becomes too much, we can have an adult talk and put it back on the rails. But life is short. Why aren't we even trying?
So I've heard what you each have to say, and I have some thoughts. I have some questions. Gurdeep, what is your life like outside of work, outside of Pooja? Because you mentioned that she's doing fun things and you're at home alone on a Saturday scrolling through her Instagram. What's going on in your life? You know, do you have other friends? Do you have other acquaintances? What do you do for fun besides, you know, casing her Instagram?
I probably made that sound way more dire than it actually is. I have a fun, active social life. I have a great group of friends. I usually like to take Friday by myself, and Saturday I'm usually out bebopping and scatting, hanging with friends or going on a date. But I do feel like there is very clear lines between work Pooja and whatever other Pooja exists that I don't know yet.
Bebopping and scatting. It's
That's
no
right.
wonder we don't hang out. Who wants to hang out with that?
That's helpful to hear that you have a busy, active social life, right? Because if you didn't, then it would explain immediately why it is that you want to hang out with Pooja on the weekends. What I can say is that, you know, many women who come through my practice are concerned or have the weight of carrying this, you know, I have to be with my family or I have to be concerned about work. And oftentimes they worry that the lines are blurred. And I feel like that might be Pooja's concern, right? Feeling like she needs to separate church and state. She has a wonderful time when she's at work hanging out with you and even at work events that, you know, you have to attend on the weekends. But there's a time when she needs to just kind of cocoon with her family and have that family time. What I will suggest, however, is what do you both think about potentially doing a fun friends and family get together between the both of you once a quarter at least, right? It's not every weekend, right? And Pooja, you get to have your family time, but outside of just hanging out at work, once a quarter, maybe pool party, invite Gurdeep over, the kids get to play with uncle, or, you know, he can have you come out with his friends and y'all can have a ripping, roaring good time.
Once a quarter doesn't seem like it's not doable. That seems very practical, I think. And then I think that takes the pressure off every weekend. Like I'm having a barbecue and I'm like, oh, I better invite Gurdeep. I don't want him to be offended. He's by himself, bebopping, scatting, and he needs to be. I think that's a reasonable request, but is this what's going to happen? Because sometimes we get together and then we're just like, and anybody else in the room is like, because nobody can get a word in edgewise. Mm-hmm. And so we end up alienating the people around us. Like when we get together, are other people there? Because I don't know that that's going to work.
Roxanne, I think once a quarter is brilliant. I like Pooja. I ain't trying to hang out with her every single weekend. She can be a lot. Have you met her?
The Pooja and Gurdeep Podcast.
This is the Pooja and Gurdeep Podcast.
Once a quarter is perfect. It's not too much. That's 4 hangouts a year. If you extrapolate that over the course of a year, that seems reasonable. She's got a great pool and a pizza oven in her backyard. I'm also in a new place downtown that you haven't seen. You can come check that out. I can show you all the digs. You have 2 amazing kids that I haven't seen since their first birthday party, which was last year. They're forgetting their Uncle Gurdeep. Also, her husband Paul, awesome guy. I might like him better than I like her. So the option I'm giving you on the table, let's say come over Saturday night, we fire up some pizza in that delicious pizza oven, we're watching the Leaf game. If at any point I become too much, you want to retreat to your quarters and just leave Paulie and I to hang out with the kids, hey, I'm not going to complain.
What do you think about that, Pooja?
Okay, fine. Saturday night, and basically what you're saying is, I don't mind if we don't actually hang out, go away so I can hang out with your husband. I'm getting mixed messages here.
I'm just trying to give you an out. I want to hang out with you, but if at any point you're like, oh my gosh, 3 hours of him, I just hang out with him all week, you have an out because I love your husband and your kids.
Can I just lower the pillow for a minute here? Gurdeep, I just want to point out something that I'm noticing, or maybe I should ask this question as a question rather. Is it possible that you've been friends for 15 years? You clearly have a remarkable friendship. Pooja's married. She has 2 children. It seems to me that her family is almost an extension of her, or a version of her that you love as well, but you haven't seen these children since their first birthday. That's hard to hold on to, right? Imagine him having children and you not seeing them for a whole year.
No! That would be horrible.
Right.
I'd want to see your children like every weekend.
Ding, 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 ding.
I appreciate that with with Instagram and social media, and Pooja's really good at almost every morning, when we're off air, she'll show me an adorable video. She's like, guess what Sia just did? Or Bodhi's doing the cutest thing now. And I watch it and I tear up and I laugh and I'm like, this is so great. So I feel like I'm watching them grow up, but I haven't had the in-person interaction, which I would love because I don't want them to forget who I am. Right. That's probably my ego speaking.
You are both like family, right? And imagine having siblings and they have children and you never get to see them, right? It's a heart-wrenching thing. Mm-hmm. And you see her every day, which is wonderful. You have this amazing friendship, but you are like siblings, quite frankly. And it's like having, niece and nephew, boy and girl, right? You literally have a niece and nephew that you never get to see. Yeah. And you have like a brother-in-law that you never get to hang out with. So it is about Pooja and your friendship with her, but it's really about family, right? You two have become chosen family.
Yes. And
you never get to see this side of your family. And so there is, when you don't get to hang out with Pooja, when you see the things happening on Instagram, not to get too deep, but it's like a little bit of mourning. But just
I feel so bad now.
And also too, he's not at a place in his life, not to get too personal, but he's not at a place in his life where there are children in the mix yet. So this is an opportunity for him to extend that kind of love and joy and excitement that happens with children, right? And so to think about getting together with the family, a few times a year, I think would be lovely. Maybe around the kids' birthdays as well. Maybe having a holiday get together, but not necessarily on the holiday itself. It's something to think about. But also, Gurdeep, I want you to keep in mind that Pooja is at a stage in her life where she is now busy in every aspect, right? And so there are times when she will need to sort of cocoon with her family, maybe on her own, have a little quiet time. And I'm sure you'll be able to respect that, right?
Want to come over Saturday night and hang out with the kids?
I do. I'll be bumping and scouting Friday, but I'm free on Saturday.
Now I'm afraid that you're going to teach my kids bebopping and scatting, and those are going to be the words that come out of their mouths.
So how do we feel about that session?
So good. So good.
That was Roxanne Francis, CEO of Francis Psychotherapy and Consulting. She is a consultant, a therapist, a speaker, and a coach. You can find her at francispsychotherapy.com. She is wonderful. And I do therapy in real life, and it's taken me multiple sessions that are like an hour each to have a breakthrough. I can't believe you and I had a breakthrough in, that was like less than 11 minutes sitting down with Francis for the first time.
Yeah, and I guess she had sort of taken from some of the things we were saying what was really going on, which we never even stopped to think about. So really made us think about what it was that was actually the thing that we were stuck on.
Yeah, like if I had just thought to pitch it to you that way, to pitch it as this is about family, this is not just about friendship, this is about the whole package that Pooja Honda represents, which is your husband, which is your children. If I had framed it to you that way, I might have gotten through to you sooner.
If it was framed to me that you have kids and I don't see them every weekend, that would have been enough for me to go, whoa. Why aren't we seeing each other more? Like, that's all I needed.
Yeah, we needed the third set of trained eyes here to sort of put this in a perspective we could both wrap our head around. I understand you've got barriers. You understand I want to see everyone. And once a quarter feels super reasonable.
Yeah.
Roxanne, thank you. I think you helped us figure this out. You're amazing.
Thanks for listening to the Pooja and Gurdeep podcast.
Listen to Pooja and Gurdeep live weekday mornings from 5 to 9.
Only on 98.1 CHFI.
Toronto's perfect music mix.